I've had enough meetings on the Hill, I've talked to enough members to know that they have a much different approach than voters do to cleaning up Washington, even after the election. First up, though, is the developing story around President Trump's efforts to bring reform to the Justice Department. He first nominated, in a really shocking way, Matt Gaetz, no one saw it coming, to be the Attorney General. And I thought it was a good pick, and I think he would have made a great Attorney General. But he had issues related to his personal conduct, and none of which were new, but for Gaetz in terms of the challenges he faced in the Senate, were going to be new to most of the American people and to the senators, including Republican senators, who are always looking for an opportunity to dig at Trump. And so this was Matt Gaetz's decision tweet to drop out from this position of, or his nomination from Attorney General. He had excellent meetings with the senators yesterday. This all happened, I guess this is Friday, this was yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. There's a lot missing in that. Not everyone supported him. While the momentum was strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. So he's gone. He withdrew his name from consideration. He's not going back to Congress, even though technically he probably could have, at least next term. And so President Trump quickly, later that day, nominated the former Florida Attorney General, who served 2 terms there, Pam Bondi, B-O-N-D-I. And I thought it was another good pick. I worked with Pam slightly back during the Trump administration, and here was my initial tweet. She's well qualified and has direct experience battling the corrupt D.C. swamp, which has tried to destroy Trump. And that is true. She was his representative, his lawyer, during one of the sham coup impeachments targeting him. She did a great job, and she knows just how bad the other side is. And I don't mean the other side being, politically. I mean those on the other side of the law who were abusing the rule of law and positions of power, certainly in the Justice Department, to try to smear and target Trump. And I'm convinced, and I want to take a step back about how all of this worked. You know, this confirmation process is an abomination, at least the modern version of it in the Senate. And the idea that you have hearings and hearings and investigations are designed to cull and conservatives from the types of people who might be nominated, strong, powerful reformers. Because what happens is the left uses the confirmation process in the Senate to smear them, destroy their reputations, and even if they can't defeat them, tar them forever if they get into whatever position they get into, whether they be a judicial appointment, which is a lifetime position at the federal level in most cases, or cabinet appointments. And Gaetz shows really you don't really need confirmation hearings for the process of advice and consent to work. You know, the modern day confirmation hearing is just that. It's a modern day development in the Senate. The Senate used to handle confirmations in the ordinary course, and it would take days, weeks, rarely months, to provide advice and consent for the president. But now these hearings are, as I said, nothing more than search and destroy missions by the left. So to the degree this nomination process can be short-circuited or Republicans kind of reform them in the next few weeks, that would be good. And of course, the old bulls of the Senate, the conservatives, and I don't use that word in a, well, I shouldn't say pejorative way or positive way, just conservative. They don't want the institution changed. Include people like Mitch McConnell, the former majority leader who's still a senator. And as I tweeted out yesterday, I have no doubt Senator Mitch McConnell is responsible for the Gaetz confirmation failure in the Senate. So let me be clear. The reports are that there were senators in the Republican caucus that were not going to vote for Gaetz. They don't believe that they were concerned about any of his personal issues. No, they saw those personal issues gave them an opportunity to undermine President Trump, who they oppose and whose supporters they have contempt for. I mean, Mitch McConnell generally is a conservative guy, but he doesn't like Trump, and he doesn't like this sort of aggressive, proactive approach from Trump supporters in dealing with the crisis that's facing our country. And so the question that Trump has to deal with is this core group of senators centered around McConnell going to continue to obstruct his efforts to get cabinet officials appointed? One way around that, the constitutional option, is to have the president, and working with Senate Majority Leader Thune and Mike Johnson, essentially construct a situation where he is able to basically call the Congress into recess or demand that it go into the recess as is allowed under the Constitution. And if that happens, the theory is he can start appointing people after at least 10 days to the cabinet that he wants. This is all assuming there becomes roadblocks to key positions getting through. So that's what's facing Trump. That objections from Mitch McConnell to reformers that could sink key nominees that the president wants on his team, and the possibility of getting into a bigger fight through recess appointments and that constitutional action that is in the Constitution, but the left will object to because President Trump isn't allowed to exercise his prerogatives as president. I mean, that's what we've learned, that he's not allowed to do what other presidents are allowed to do because they hate him. And this is an opportunity for you to participate in the process as well. Because as far as I'm concerned, these confirmations really should be done by Inauguration Day. And I did a quick video explaining what you can do. There you have the U.S. Capitol, a lot going on. President Trump putting together what looks to be a powerful cabinet. And of course, the Senate doesn't want to move too quickly on them. I think they should, whether it be Matt Gaetz or Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Hegseth, Bobby Kennedy, Marco Rubio. There's no good reason to deny any of them a quick confirmation. Frankly, the Senate should have the president's entire cabinet ready to go and confirmed by Inauguration Day. What do you think? You need to share your views with the Senate. 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. Call your senators. Let them know what you think. Should it be business as usual with stalling and delaying and abusing appointees, or should they just get going because this country needs saving and we need a team in place to begin saving the republic immediately under President Trump? Yeah, and I think Gaetz just dropped out like a minute after we did that video, but it still applies. If you think Pam, as I noted earlier on social media, Pam Bondi can be confirmed in minutes, practically speaking. So this whole process, as I said, it's designed to punish appointees and nominees, especially those who are conservative. And so you should call your senators every chance you get, every time it occurs to you, at 202-224-3121, 202-224-3121, and then ask them or tell them respectfully, remember, they're just regular folks answering the phones. They're not the senators asking the phones, so don't punish them. Be respectful, even if they're not even respectful to you. Sometimes I know that's the case. And share your views about it. I mean, if you want Pete Hegseth in there, you need to call. If you want Pam Bondi in there, you need to call. If you want Tulsi in there, you need to call. If you want Robert Kennedy Jr. in there, you need to call. This is not a time for wasting. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the work's got to be done now. And the Gaetz nomination proves that the Senate can move quickly to consider a nomination just through regular meetings and internal deliberations. And Gaetz got the message he wasn't going to get through without significant pain to the Trump team, and he probably wouldn't get through at all. So that was the end of the nomination. So why can't we get that same process accelerated for nominees that are clearly going to get through? And Congress has got to get going on everything. I mean, right now they're talking about continuing resolutions through March. Some want continuing resolutions through the end of the fiscal year, which would be October, which would mean, practically speaking, everything that Biden has been spending continues to be fully funded through the first year of the Trump administration. How would you like that? Right now, there's going to be a continuing resolution, and they just want to let it go through even through March with no real significant policy amendments. So they're going to keep on funding the invasion. They're going to keep on funding the abuse of Trump. They're going to keep on funding the First Amendment censorship. You know, everything else that they hate about the Biden administration, they promised to change once they got into office. Well, they won the election, and they still don't want to change it. Now, that's not to say there won't be changes next year, but why in the meantime would they fund it? I'm sorry. It's November, December, January, February, March. So 4 months of Bidenomics? 4 months of funding all this climate scam money that's going out the door? So again, call your members of Congress and let them know what you think about this. Because I tell you, I've had enough meetings on the Hill, I've talked to enough members to know that they have a much different approach than voters do to cleaning up Washington, even after the election. I mean, Elon Musk and that Department of Government Efficiency, boy, Congress is going to be their enemy unless the voters reinforce what they said on Election Day. That's for sure.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.